What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we are talking about if you fear losing this guy, this screwball, then you're going to lose him, right? You're going to push him away. So before we even get into it, if you can, please, I love you forever and ever and ever. Subscribe below, click the red button. Also, in my description is my free ebook, 254 pages. Again, absolutely free. Goes over everything we talk about in these videos. Also, I have my email session and my phone sessions down there, which I love doing the phone sessions. You guys are a blast. Those are really, really fun. So if you get on those, let me know. And well, actually, you only let me know, tell me. So don't let me know. But and then finally, of course, my Patreon and social links are down there. So let's jump right in. We can go about this two ways. Well, we're gonna go about it one way, but I'm gonna go over the first way real fast, which you already know. So I'm not really gonna go over it. And you already know, I could say, the kind of things like, if you fear losing him, then you're going to lose him because you're obviously going to act needy, clingy, all these red flags are going to come out, and you're going to push him away. Like, I talk to you guys on the phone, I read your comments, I see what you guys are searching for on the internet, or on my videos at least. I'm not that creepy. I wonder if you could do that, though. And I know that you know that, okay? I know that if you fear losing him, you're going to act a certain way and you're going to push him away. We're not talking about that here. You can go look at some other videos for that. What I actually want to talk about is the transfer of energy and why that kind of happens out of nowhere, or that you think it happens out of nowhere. And it usually starts to happen when one fears losing the other. There's that quote, whoever likes less wins, right? And or however it goes, you know what I'm talking about. Whoever loves less wins, something like that, whatever. Now, the reason you get that transfer of energy like that, and the guy, when the guy starts caring less, or you feel like the guy starts caring less and you caring a bunch more, or you feel like the guy's not trying anymore and you're trying to make it work, is because you're not completing the cycle of the masculine and feminine energy. And here's what I mean by that. Usually it's like this. And when you start liking the guy a lot, or let's just say it's going like this back and forth, right? But when you start, going down, he starts going up, and you start fearing the losing him, you're going to start feeding and trying to win him over. You're going to try to do all these things to win him over. And that's not how the masculine energy or the masculine and feminine energy work. You are supposed to be, or he's supposed to be the provider, satisfier. You are supposed to have, I don't want to say command or a list, because if it feels like a chore or an obligation to the guy, he's not going to do it. At the same time, you probably want it as genuine as well. You don't want to say, I like flowers, someone should get me flowers Friday, and then he gets you flowers. That doesn't feel right, obviously. But a lot of women will try to feed this guy all these things. She'll try to do this, she'll try to do that, she'll try to do these, that, buy him this, act like this, just whatever it is, right? You can act a certain way, be a certain, you can do whatever, and you realize it's still not working. There's two reasons for that. One, when a guy's up here and you're doing that, he has no incentive to change. He has no reason to try to be something different. He feels like, oh, this is, he's having his cake and he's eating it too. He's like, oh, this is great. I'm getting all this stuff and I'm not having to do anything, okay? So that's number one. And number two, when you start doing those things and the energy's like that, the guy's going to have a different perception than if he was chasing you and trying to win you over, right? Again, he's already up here. You create that hierarchy. You're feeding like a king or something. And you're just like, give him all this shit. And you're wondering why things aren't changing. The things you need to do is he's supposed to be the satisfying provider, right? You're supposed to let him know what you want. Now, I don't mean that in a straightforward, like, I like candy, I like flowers, I like this, I like that. Not like that. Just, just a natural, unflowing way. Like, let's say you talk about on first dates, you talk about like your favorite movie or something, and then he ends up buying you your favorite movie down the road or something. Or you say, you guys go out to eat, and, you say how your favorite foods, chicken Alfredo or something, and then he ends up making you chicken Alfredo. It's like that. It just falls unnaturally. But it's supposed to work is he's supposed to have he's supposed to be the provider, satisfier. He's supposed to do that stuff to you, and then you're supposed to reinforce it. It's like a dog, right? You're supposed to reinforce it with the I love yous, the thank yous, the I really appreciate when you did XYZ, ABC, your happiness, your energy. It could be sex, whatever it is. Now, sex later on down the road, of course. I'm talking about if you guys were together, then you should do that. You shouldn't win a guy over a sex. But that's how it should work. So when you see that flop like this and he has a lot of energy, it's because you're trying to win him. You're trying to win him back over, doing all these things to him, and he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna, I have no incentive or no reason to change. Okay, so instead, you need to stop feeding him that shit, and you need to let him know what you need to stand your ground as a matter of fact kind of way, kind of mindset, and be like, okay, I'm expecting X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Now, again, don't expect it. If it feels like an obligation or a chore to a guy, it's an extreme turnoff. But you need to pull, again, this feeding him this stuff is a different way of it's more of an action way of the needy and insecurity type of actions that you're showing him, right? It's still needy, clingy tendencies, okay? You might not think it is, but it is. And he's going to see you as a door. Hey, you can only get so low until he starts seeing you as a doormat, okay? So you need to cut that shit out. Instead, what you need to do, actually, I take that back. You need to think of it like this. You need to think of men as resources and women as services. Back then, a lot of men were, of course, women could do anything a man can do now, but the attraction aspect of it's still the same. And a lot of men, just were stronger, were able to last, go out and hunt for food and bring it back and all these things. He had more status. He had the resources. Women had the services. She could, give the birth, the sex. She was a cook. She had the loving, the nurturing aspects, the communication. Women were just, very good. It was just different. Women had more services. And I know that sounds a little sexist, but it's not any weaker than this. And that's where people, get this, like, this feminine masculine energy is such bullshit. They're the same strength. I'm telling you, a man cannot do anything without a woman. Believe me, I see men, including myself, chase women like it's no joke. So the feminine energy is a very strong energy. Don't let anyone fool you. But for the most part, the guy is supposed to go and give these women these resources to win her over, and then she's supposed to reinforce it. Like, I like when you did X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Why don't you do it again? Again, by reinforcing it. And then it just completes that cycle. But what a lot of women do when they fear losing somebody is they start to feed him just all this. She starts to play the masculine role, starts feeding him all these things, and he just sits there like a king, like, oh, I don't need to do shit, and then that eventually pushes the guy away, because when you do that, you do lower your value in your social proof. See, a lot of people don't see that. They don't see that the value in social proof is lowering, and when it lowers, your attraction lowers and the energy lowers, and then it starts to go like this, and then you realize. Actually, a lot of women don't even realize it. They wonder why the guy pulls away and what the hell is going on. But it's because you were trying to do all these things, right? Like when a woman tries to be one-sided to make a relationship work a lot of the time, it's because it's like this. And when you're trying to make the relationship work and he's not, it's this. Like, this is what's going on. So you need to stop making it work, and you need to draw. I guess if you're trying to make a relationship work, then you need to draw a line and make an ultimatum. Or you guys need to sit down and talk, and you need to tell him what you like, what you dislike, and so on and so forth. But for the most part, don't make it sound like a chore. Do not make it sound like he's obligated to do this, or you'll leave. That would turn. If a girl ever told, actually, I'm gonna have a little story. I remember I used to smoke cigarettes before I even dated a girl. Right before I even dated this girl. So when I was like 3, I was smoking cigarettes, but I remember I started smoking like 19, 20, and I ended up dating this girl when I was like 22, I think, 21, 22, and she wanted me to quit smoking cigarettes. And I looked at her like, are you fucking serious? Like, you kidding me? Like, no, I told her straight up to her face, no, like, I'm not going to stop smoking these cigarettes. I was smoking 2-3 years before I even met you. You knew me this time, so, and you knew I smoked, so why are you going to ask me to quit once I'm with you? I told her, nice try, take a hike, okay? Now, of course, we didn't break up because of that. I did cut back. I didn't smoke around her, because you do got to respect the other person's boundaries. But that was a big turnoff to me, even though you guys open your mind. Even though you might not like smoking, you think it might be the nastiest and most unattractive thing in the world, guess what? To me, I liked it, and it was something I was doing before you were in my life. So I'm not going to quit for you, okay? Unless you become like this, like a married couple a long time down the road, so on. She was a big partier. She was a sorority girl. She was a big partier, big party animal. And I told her, she asked me one time, about her going out, and I said, you know what, I don't like it, but you've been doing it for a while, and I understand you're young and you're in a sorority, so all I can tell you is that I don't like it, but I'm not going to stop you. And of course, she kept doing it, and I didn't hold anything against her because it was expected, right? When you're a young 21-year-old girl and you're in a sorority, you're going to do that. So I didn't hold anything against her, and that's how it should be, okay? So with that being said, I love you ladies. Take care. Remember, stop feeding them all this stuff. It's not just about the needy and clingy tendencies. It's about how you're acting at the same time. And when you do that, you will get this transfer. You will be lowering your value, your social proof, without you even knowing it, and devastation will occur. So with that being said, I love you. Take care and peace.